Hey, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to Star Cub Review. As always, I'm your host, Star Cub. Today I am going to do a game review. Now, you've probably already guessed from, obviously, the caption card and the video that's running in the background as we speak, which is the trailer, or announcement trailer. And that is on a little beauty called Trinity Trigger for the Nintendo Switch. And that's what I'll be doing a review on, is the Nintendo Switch version and not the PS4, PS5 version. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say a big, huge welcome to everyone brand new to the channel. Thank you so much for picking this video, watching whichever parts of the video you feel like watching. I'm all for it. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to keep up to date with all my content. Feel free to look through all my different sections on my channel if you feel free to do that. And everyone returning, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see if we can grow this channel even further. 206 subscribers so far. Let's get that number up, and let's get into it. Now, Trinity Trigger. I like it. It's a very good game. Very good game. Action role-playing RPG, JRPG, published by Furio and developed by 3 Rings for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Windows. Was released in Japan on September 15th, 2022, and in Western territories by Xseed Games in mid-2023. Now, I know I'm late with doing a review for this, but I finished this game last week, and I just wanted to give my review and take on it. I'm not gonna really get into, the story side of it or anything like that, but I will say that it is a very good game, but I do have my gripes. Some of them are some of the gripes are, they're small gripes. They're small gripes because this game is amazing. It feels very, 80s RPG style from, the Super Nintendo era. Being though, one of its biggest influences is it feels like Secret of Mana in the style of gameplay. You've got different range of weapons, and you can upgrade those weapons with abilities. Although you don't have stats as per se in this game. You do have HP, but stats is connected to your triggers, these cute little creature things that change into the different weapons that you choose, and they all have different abilities attached to them, which you can level up in a little leveling up system, which is a very nice change. You got stuff to craft. Crafting system is really good, crafting different sorts of stuff to, like potions, for healing, potions to, change status effects. And you've got an array of side quests that I feel range from easy to, have to do a little bit of running around, but that's okay. It's absolutely, this game is absolutely structured so well. The bosses are amazing to fight. The game feels fluid. The gameplay, the fighting feels like a Secret of Mana game. It really does. That fluidity of freedom with the fighting. And it's just a joy to see this game embrace what came before it, but also honouring those systems that came before it as well, but giving it its own unique touch with, how the weapons work, the trigger system, the triggers and the weapons is a really neat touch, something that I feel is like a really cool mechanic. And the story is amazing. The soundtrack is absolutely sublime. It's composed by Hiroyuki Hiroki Kikuta. Sorry if I butchered the name. I'm not great with Japanese names, but he did an amazing job with the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely sublime. I have the Day One Collector's Edition, and it has all the soundtrack in there with a neat little booklet. And I did a video on that previously about what it was in one of my monthly pickups that I picked up this year. So do check that out. I will put that up in the cards, up the top in the video. But other than that, oh, excuse me, the gameplay is amazing. Story, absolutely amazing. Now, my gripes with this game is the ending, the final boss, so the final few bosses in Trinity Trigger are gruelingly tough. I'm talking tough. And I had to keep leveling up my characters to a point to actually get further. I had to also modify my HP in that to get more HP. So I had to do some modifying on my weapons and my triggers in order to get, HP plus 25% to grow my HP up and an attack up 25% or 15% or 5% in order to compensate for the final slug of bosses to come. Now, this is where my major gripe comes from, and it's one small gripe, and that is the final boss of this game the gimmick is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous slog. Its gimmick is, before you can even touch the final boss, you have 4 pillars that change certain colors, and that corresponds with the weapon that you have to use in order to attack it and, hack away at its health. But the pillars have got ridiculous amounts of health. You've got other little creatures and that coming at you that are attacking you from all sides as well, which makes it even tougher. The AI companions, Xantus and Louise, if I'm pronouncing it right, or Louise, which is the girl in it. Sometimes the AI is so just non-responsive, and they get trapped in certain places and they can't defend themselves and stuff. The AI is broken. Like, it is broken, and I think it needs a patch in order to to make the AI more responsive and help you out a lot more. But also, I feel too that the gimmick of the boss is those 4 pillars, as I was talking about, they change different colors to correspond with the weapons. And as you're doing all of that too, sometimes the pillars heal themselves for 800 HP a pop. And then you've got to keep swapping and changing between the weapons to destroy the 4 pillars. And then when you get to the 4 pillars, you can get to the boss. But even then, when you get to the boss, he has a shield gauge on their HP. The shield gauge is down the bottom. You have to get rid of that shield in order to attack the boss, to attack at its HP. And it's absolutely grueling and ridiculous. And then by the time you've got that shield down to get to his HP, you're almost immediately either swamped with enemies coming in on the battlefield from all angles, or the boss has ridiculous amounts of HP, and immediately you knock some of his HP off, but then his shield goes back up. Then that whole gimmick starts over again, and you've got to knock the shields down again. It's a slog. And look, for me personally, and I know this is where I'm going to have, I know I'm going to have people saying, oh, you didn't complete it, blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't. I had to actually watch the ending on YouTube myself, and I will admit, this game got me. This game got me in the end. It actually made me give up on wanting to get to defeat the final boss, because the gimmick was so hard to get through that it was just not worth it. I had to come back. I had to put it down and come back several times, and it sapped the fun out of it. And I feel like Three Rings and Exceed Games, who's one of the publishers for the Western territories, I feel like Exceed have done such an amazing job. I absolutely love Trinity Trigger. Don't get me wrong, I praise Exceed. But at the same time, they really need to do a patch of some sort in order to either tone down that gimmick or get rid of it entirely to give you a fairer go at the final boss. And even then, that's not the final boss of the game, because then you go into your new game, your after game, and you've got a whole bunch of new quests to, you know, solve and whatnot, and you get to the true boss of the game, which is how I found out about that, and I'm like, no, I could not finish it. And I will admit, this is a game for me that I literally had to put it down and go, I physically cannot beat this game. I physically cannot do it. And I will admit, as a gamer, I did not do it. And that's my gripe on it. And I really hope that Exceed take this feedback and really use it, because I feel like this game is amazing as it is. That gimmick is just awful. It is awful, and it's a real challenge, and it got me. But other than that, the game is great. What do I rate it? I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. I loved it, but if that gimmick had changed and gets a few patches to change the AI to be more helpful throughout the game and stuff like that, I feel like Trinity Trigger would be an even better game. And, you know, hopefully down the track it gets future DLC and stuff. Because, yeah, I would love to see what they do with the DLC, or add other story elements into it as well. Really love to see that. But other than that, guys, I leave you with this review, and I will have more videos for you down the track. Alright, guys, take it easy. Bye.